thanks for checking out my YouTube video. This is going to be a VOD review of two of my ranked reload games from yesterday. The first will be a fill squad game. I'm not speaking, or I don't know any of the other players on my team. And then the second game will be a duos game with my buddy Pete. I took some notes for this video, which I haven't really been doing, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, I'm gonna fast forward this off spawn part and this looting part, and then once the fights start, which takes a while actually, I'll speed it back up. Alright, so one thing off rip, I could tell right away that this squad was going to be fun to play with because we didn't go to the center of the map. I mentioned this in another video, but going to the center of the map is fun, but if you're trying to rank up and get to Unreal, it's going to take a long time doing it that way, unless you're a crazy fighter already. If you're not the craziest fighter, I would recommend playing a little smarter and play it a little slower. Which is what these teammates decided to do when they marked this spot. So I was down with that, and it's a good way, for me to kind of judge how my teammates are going to be, based on whether or not they're all going to the same location and marking something edge map, or even just not the main POI of the map. Then I'm usually happy. So one thing you should try to do when you probably are already doing this if you're at the level that these videos will help you, but I'm going to say it anyway, is you got to have some loot routes and some different POIs, some ways that you loot, that you go consistently every single time you drop this spot, you land on the same building, you loot the same chests, and you know exactly where you got to go so you can loot as fast as possible. In case someone pushes you, or if you want to just get into the action quickly. It's a good habit to just consistently loot the same way, unless you have to fight obviously, but like right here we were unconned off spawn, so this is my typical loot route here. You can see I've got really good mats already. It's been about 2 minutes and I'm ready to go. Alright, so I want to give a shout out to this teammate on my squad here, Bella Nutella. First of all, that's a sick name. I love that. Also, they're really good fill teammate, and I'll point it out to you throughout the video. But already they're rotating ahead of everyone else with me, which is a great sign. I love having a teammate with me when I'm rotating, because I'm not gonna wait for Storm to come and hit us to rotate. I'm gonna try and get a spot on the edge, or even rotate through the center of the map before the storm is on me. It's not always the case, if I had to fight off spawn and had to heal and everything, it's fine if you have to go through the storm. It's gonna make your match a little more difficult rather than just rotating right away. Also in reload, when you rotate, the maps tend to the zones tend to pull the same way. So like in this situation, it's like a south pulling zone. It's probably gonna keep pulling south. We'll see if that's true. Alright, 16 players left. I'm a little bit antsy because I haven't fought anyone or really done anything but looting, which is kind of boring to me. So I'm getting in the box and trying to get some fights, and shout out to Bella Nutella for still being on my 6. Alright, so I could see that guy on the right hand peak there. I'm just going to rewind that a little bit. It's not that important, but you could see his gun sticking out there through the wall. That's how I was able to tell he was there and start spraying him. Once again, I play PS5 controller in a pretty casual way, and the intent is just to show beginner players that you can get to Unreal just by playing slow and playing smart. And obviously you need to have a baseline of fighting skills, but once you have that, not everyone really knows how to improve their gameplay as far as strategically and decision making wise. So here I'm all alone on this hill right here. I'm not sure where my teammates are at the moment. I know that, so I'm just playing slow, clearing bushes, and just waiting to see what develops. Alright, so I see some shooting in the direction of my teammates who are in the middle of zone, and I don't know if that's the main POI. I think that's like a kind of a secondary one to it. But they're dying, so I'm going to base up and try and see if I can lay down some cover fire for them. Alright, so that teammate died. Both the teammates that were over there are dead. I'm not going to go push those guys in the zone there. That would be a terrible fight for me. So I'm going to go and try and catch up to our other teammates so that when those guys come back, we're all together. That's my idea anyways. We'll see if that happens. Alright, so you can see right away before I shot, I marked the guy that was shooting at my teammate so everyone else knows who to shoot at. I get a little bit aggressive in this fight. I'm going to pay for it. So as soon as I killed that guy, I should have tried to, rebox in my own materials there, but whatever. Alright, so these teammates, Bella, Nutella, and Deadpool, are doing a pretty good job staying alive here, while me and the other teammate were getting clapped on. So I'm going to go back towards them. I see them crouching, you can kind of see them highlighted. So I know that they're probably not ready to fight either, and I'm not just going to stand next to them crouching and die with them. I'm going to keep moving and trying to find loot and improve my situation. I see this drop down here, and this is going to hopefully set me up, If you see a drop, it'll give you everything you pretty much need. Maybe not always a good shotgun, like an outlaw shotgun is terrible to me, but it's a shotgun, Alright, so I can see my teammates are dying again, which is, it's fine. They're probably getting pushed by a squad while their duo's weak or whatever, because we're really not all playing together right now because we're dying. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to rotate pretty far using the cover from the side of this mountain because I'm a solo. And it worked, no one can really see me because of the mountain to my left. That's something you need to keep in mind when you're rotating, especially as an IGL. If you have teammates that are following you in those situations, bringing them through I guess a pathway that has cover is going to save your heals for in game. Shout out to Bella and Nutella again for sticking with me. So here you can see I mark where I want to go. As an IGL, that's something you got to do. You also have to communicate with your teammates if you're playing with sound on. Alright, here I'm going to pause because this part's kind of cool. So turn the volume up a little. Hopefully it's not too loud, but maybe you can hear what I heard. You hear that? Yeah, someone's in that bush. Alright, they shock out. I'm a solo here. I probably should have tried to push that fight, but I don't really feel like I need to here. I see a POI that looks unconned in endgame where I can, get my mats up, get my heals up, and hopefully have my teammates come rally with me here. So I decided to go forward in my game instead of going to fight that guy. Alright, so I'm making a hard map box up on height here, so I can kind of overlook the area. I don't know, I was probably looking at my phone or something here, but one other thing I wanted to add. You should always be playing with headphones on to increase awareness. I would not have heard the guy in that bush had I not had headphones on. It's not always the most comfortable thing, but it's worth it. So I could see my teammate trying to fly into my box there, and I closed it by accident, so I opened it back up for him, and then I shared my stuff with him. I shared mats, and I shared heals, even though I really didn't have anything. You're not going to win these games as a solo, and earning goodwill with your teammates could help you win the game. So I'm trying to mark where I want us to go eventually, even though it's maybe a little too far. I just want everyone to be rallying around me here and getting their attention. So I'm just going to stay front zone here and just look back. And I should have mats in front of me here, but no one's really looking at me at the moment, so I'm just kind of moving along with the zone. Alright, that was a good first win there for the day with some fill teammates, and a special shout out to Bella Nutella for being an awesome fill teammate. Super unusual. That was sick. Alright, so this is a second game. I queued it up to start a little bit in because it was another slow game. We always landed Adobe abodes, and we have loot routes there, like I was saying. I mean, I got them at different POIs, but that's more Hot Dog's favorite spot, so that's where we go. And I don't think we fought, yeah, it doesn't look like we fought anyone off spawn, so I'm going to start the video a little bit into the mid game here. This is my favorite map on Reload. I love the Oasis map. I was disappointed when they removed it. I don't really know what it is about it. I think it's all the elevation change that I like. There's like hills and mountains everywhere. I really like that. I don't know, it's got a cool aesthetic though. Alright, we're setting up for our rotate here. I'm gonna call for a fizz pad, which on those purple pads sends you so high in the air. Once you're that high, you can drop in on people without them seeing. I don't remember what the word is for it, but you'll see. Alright, Pete's asking if we should wait to hit the pad until zone pulls, but I kind of hit the pad while he's asking, like a drone. So I'm already in the air before zone pulls, and I realize how high I am now that it doesn't really matter because zone's going to pull and we're going to get to it. He marks the drop. I see these guys on this hill below us, and I mark them, and I'm saying right now, you cool to fight or you want to go to the drop? He's like, no, let's fight. So I'm going to drop down and, you know. Alright. Let's speed up a little bit. Players left, and we just had our first fight. We weren't even really playing passively. The game just kind of died out real quickly. I guess everyone went to the middle, whatever it's called. I don't remember. Alright, now we're going to the drop Pete I marked before. I'm trying to scout a little bit before we go down into this little valley. I asked Pete if he had a fizz before I dropped mine so that we could still rotate with fizz pads. He said he did. All these drops here, just this is what we do when there's really nothing else to do. We're just gonna fill out our loadouts with the best stuff so that we're ready to win the game. Alright, I threw this med mist even though I didn't really need it. I could say it was because of cover, but it really wasn't. It was just a misclick. I got another pad, which is awesome. We're in zone. Alright, so here I decided not to follow the second teammate because we're a duo in endgame and I don't want to separate from my teammate while we're on height already. So that was another strategic decision to not chase a player that I probably could have killed. And I think it's decision making like that that will help you get to Unreal quickly if you're not the best fighter. You gotta know when to take a fight and when to play smart. Alright, so here I'm ADSing out in the open, which means zoom, like aiming in, which is absolute bot behavior. I should not be doing that. I should have a box that I'm opening and edit through to aim any direction. So this is something I'm not really doing a good job of, and I keep doing it, and there I pay for it. Don't do what I just did there, and also I'm boxing with wood when I have almost full hard mats, which is another mistake here. Hopefully now that I see we pulled zone, I make a hard mat box here. Yeah, it looks like I did. Alright, I'm still trying to do the protected 90s that I mentioned in my last video. Just a safe way to get height and save your heals. Alright, right now I'm just scouting for players. Pete said someone's right below us, so I'm just looking around. He got sniped, I think, so before resetting his wall, I just revived him immediately because I could tell he was still protected behind my my edited wall, my cone, and my wall, my box. So he's back up like nothing happened. I'm going down to get rid of my chug jug that had 10 HP left in it. And then I edited him in by mistake. Alright, so I think... Alright, never mind. So zone just pulled, so I'm looking at rotate. I got my fizz out. I asked him if that hit him, because it looked like maybe it didn't from my POV. He said it did, so I'm ready to pad, get us to the next area. Right now, while I'm in the air, I'm looking for high ground in zone. You could also do this before you go, but I prefer to just go and go as fast as possible before everyone else gets there. So I say there's someone behind that rock, because I see that ramp. And now I'm looking for a better spot, because we're not actually on height here. We're higher than some people could be, but there's still that hill there. Alright, now I'm saying we gotta look south, because obviously south has to pull towards us. I'm not sure if someone went into that box there, so that's why we're spraying it. Alright, so this guy's ADSing with a sniper out in the open like a drone, in zone, which is a 2-tick. So I'm able to get him with my assault. Right now I probably could have another box around me, considering the mats I have. I have really good mats, but I'm also really not taking that big of a risk by playing behind this cone. It's time for us to rotate, so I drop down, throw the pad, and I call for a push here. And then I'm like, wait, maybe we should play forward. And Pete's like, all right, well, I'm already fighting, so this is an important lesson for your IGL. Don't be indecisive. If you make a call, you got to stick to it, unless you give your teammates ample time to follow your change, which there wasn't there. All right, so now I'm boxing in metal, trying to get us into the next zone. I think Pete's still healing from the last fight, and I think he got sniped from the back. He said his wall wasn't closed. So now I'm in a 1v, I think it's 3 teams are left, so 2 solos and a duo. The solo just died, so it's me against a duo now. I just looked at my map to see that, to confirm that. And I took one out with my assault, so now I'm ready to get the other one. I hit a 45 tag on him, but I missed my first shot. I missed my pump there, I finally cleaned him up. So I got a little bit lucky there. Those games were a little bit slow. Moral of the story there, play slow, play smart, and if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. Peace.